Welcome back to the channel Talking Reds. I'm just going to do a quick video about Liverpool's latest transfers. Obviously, we all know we've got Florian Wirtz, but I'm just going to do a roundup of the weekend of some of the other transfers that Liverpool are linked to, who Liverpool are interested in. A few of you might know me already, Reese. I'm a regular on the Talking Reds channel, one of the panel members. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. Most importantly, let's just take a second. Make sure you smash the like button, share, comment, and subscribe. The first bit of news I'm going to speak about is Liverpool going after the Crystal Palace centre back, um, Gay. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. The Crystal Palace captain, Martin Gay. It looks like things to do with that transfer. It looks like things are close in terms of that. Obviously, Liverpool could potentially get him on a free because he has a year left. Palace, I think, wants something between 40 to 50 million. I don't think they're going to get 50 million personally. I think Liverpool are looking at more 30. Liverpool are looking at more 30 to 40 million, potentially. So maybe 30 million with add-ons or installments, rising it to around 40 million. News has come out that Martin Gay does want to leave Crystal Palace and he won't be signing a new contract. So I think that only strengthens Liverpool's hand. I also think that it looks like he's probably going to be the Kwanzaa replacement. And the money we got for Kwanzaa, which was 30 million with 5 million in add-ons. So the total package, 35 million. I think the money we got from Kwanzaa will be the money that will be used to get Gay. So for me, I think Liverpool are in a win-win position. They have a very strong hand where we can either get him this summer, which is for me an excellent bit of business, a great replacement for Kwanzaa. He's an England international and he's the Crystal Palace captain. Obviously, he's coming off a great season for Palace, where Palace won the FA Cup, so they got their first bit of silverware ever as a football club, which is massive on its own. But I think that's a great replacement for Kwanzaa, and I also think that if we are to get him, like I said, we can either wait till January and start discussing a contract, offer him a contract and get him on a free if Palace are trying to ask for too much money, or Palace can, and if Palace and Liverpool come to some sort of agreement, like I said, between 30 to 40 million, then I think Liverpool can get him and add him and he'll become the third choice. There's a question I do want to ask anyone who is in the chat. My question that I do want to ask is that do people see Martin, do they see Gay as the Kwanzaa replacement, or do people see him as the Konate replacement? I know Konate is still a Liverpool player. He's a phenomenal centre-back, but we do know that he's got around a year left and Liverpool are in negotiations with Konate. It's kind of going back and forth. The last thing I saw is that contract talks were progressing nicely. I haven't seen any updates since then. Who's to say? Let me know in the chat, comment, let me know what you think. If you think that Gay, who's to say he's not the replacement for Konate in a year's time and we end up getting another centre back to replace Kwanzaa? Obviously, I'm just doing devil's advocate here. You got to kind of look at the situation. There's a few variables. It's not just looking at it one way. The other bit of contract news, transfer news that I want to talk about as well is the other bit that I would like to talk about is how do we feel about Liverpool with a striker? Obviously, we all know that there's heavy rumours and we're being linked more each and every day with Isak. But if I'm being honest, as much as I would love to get Isak this summer, I don't see Liverpool getting Isak. I'm not saying it's impossible. If we were to get him, I think that would be great business. And I think I'm going to stand on my word here and put my chest out. I think we retain the league without a shadow of a doubt if we get a player of Isak's quality, Swedish international. He's one of the best strikers in the world, if not top two strikers in the league, alongside Haaland. And then you maybe put Salah in there as well. You can't not forget Salah, top player. But I don't think the amount of money Newcastle want for him, I don't think Liverpool's going to pay that. They could, because obviously we didn't think they were going to pay over 100 million for someone like Florian Wirtz, but we've just done that. And he's a great player. But I don't think they're going to do that in the same window. And also, I think Newcastle are in a stronger position in terms of negotiations that with with Isak that he has 3 years remaining on his contract. I know Newcastle are trying to get him to sign a new deal. I don't think he's going to sign a new deal, but I think having 3 years left on his contract, I think for me, they're in a strong position where they could say they want minimum. We're not trying to have no negotiations or consider anything Liverpool's offering until you offer around 140, 150 million. Me personally, I think 120 or 130 would do it, but I just don't think we're going to get him this summer. Obviously, we've got Alvarez. I think it's unlikely we're going to get Alvarez as well because he's got 500 million release clause, and the release clauses in Spain are extremely high. So I think that's unlikely, and they only just signed him last year. So I think he's their main striker, and obviously he's a big part of the Atletico project, and they've got their own aspirations for um, challenging for La Liga next season, challenging for the Champions League and whatnot. So as much as I would like Isak, I don't see Liverpool getting Isak this summer. If they do, great. I'll be over the moon. And like I said, I think we'll win. We win the Premier League. But do let me know if in the comments if you think that Liverpool, how much of a chance out of 10, or what's your percentage out of 100 that you think Liverpool have in getting Isak, and let me know who else you think Liverpool get. Obviously, I know we've been linked to Ekatike. I think he's a good player. At the start, I wasn't really sold on him because I didn't really know too much about him. He hasn't really done much in the game yet. He's not really proven. And the amount of money for me that Frankfurt are asking for is way too much. Obviously, they've brought that down now to around 68 million. I still think that's too high. I think between 50 and 60 million, I think, is around the right ballpark, the right range for a player of that caliber, because I do think he's a project player similar to Nunes. And I just think the position we're in now, the fact that we won the league, the way we won it in the fashion we did, where we basically walked the league. I know we won it in the end by 10 points, but it wasn't close. At some points, we were 15 points clear, even 18 points, closer to 20 points clear. So I just think we're not really trying to get squad players in. We're trying to get players who are elite players. Like Slot has said previously, we need players that are performing at the level of Salah. So they have to be at that high level, performing at the level of Van Dijk, Alisson, seasoned players who are ready now. And obviously that's hence why Liverpool is such a big move. The fact that we were able to get someone like Florian Wirtz, because he's one of the best players in the position in the number 10. He's a top player. But yeah, Ekatike, obviously, I think Man United's linked with him. I think there's a few teams, a lot of news going around. There's a few teams linked with him. Apparently, he only wants to go to Liverpool, but that's Liverpool's backup. I just have a feeling that Liverpool are going to wait till next season to get Isak, where the price will be lower. I think you'll be able to come to the table and maybe offer around 100 million for him, which is more reasonable. With Newcastle, he'll have around 2 years left, so the price will definitely be lower. I also think, like I said, we don't want a project player. We had a project player with Nunes, and we saw how that worked out. Obviously, Nunes is not the greatest player. I'm not going to drag him and put him in the mud. Everyone kind of knows my views on Nunes. If you don't, you can kind of look at previous Talking Red videos with the rest of the panel. But I'm not his biggest fan. Obviously, it hasn't worked out for him. He will definitely be going this season. I think he will get moved on. But I don't think Liverpool's trying to make that mistake where you pay over the odds for a project player, someone who you thought was ready, and then it takes them 2 or 3 years and the numbers are not adding up. The GA is not adding up. You can see as a player, like I said, not the greatest in terms of the sharpest, in terms of the imagination, and obviously finishing is not really too great either. So I just don't think Liverpool are willing to risk to pay around 70 or 80 million for Ekatike, who's a talent. He's a bright young talent, good player. He's got a lot of potential, but he doesn't look like he's ready now. So I don't think they're going to pay 70 or 80 million or 70 or 80 million euros for a player who's a project player. I think if it gets down to around 60 to 50 million, I think then Liverpool might come in with an offer. But I could see Liverpool going forward next season. Jota will stay. He'll be the backup. Obviously, I know a lot of people have their reservations with his injuries, and he doesn't have the greatest injury record. We know he's a talisman when he does stay fit and when he is playing well and he's on top of his form. He knows where the goal is. He knows how to finish. He just had a lot of injuries last season. I think he will be the backup next season, and we will move him on the following season. Nunes will go this season. I think Diaz will be the 9. I think that's what Slot will persist with. I think we can get away with it this season. Like I said, I would like Isak, but I just think the money is too much. 150 million is serious money, and if you can get him in a year's time for 100 million, you might as well wait. So I think Diaz is going to lead the line going forward next season when we try to retain the Premier League. I think Jota will be the backup. I think you'll have Gakpo on the left. You'll also have Wirtz, who can play on the left at times, depending on who we're playing, what the tactics are, horses for courses. You might see Wirtz on the left. Sometimes you might see him in the 10. You might see Szoboszlai in the 10. You might see Szoboszlai in the 8. You might see McAllister in the 8. You might see McAllister in the 10. So it's all about options. It's all about having a squad that's equipped to not only challenge for the league, but to retain the league and challenge on all fronts in the Champions League, to try and go on a good run, to try and go one better and get further than the last 16, try and get to the quarterfinal, the semi-finals, the finals, try to get to try and go on a good run in the FA Cup, try to go on a good run in the League Cup. So it's not about just me retaining the league. I think we're trying to make a statement. We're trying to challenge for multiple trophies, challenge on all fronts. So I think our squad is well equipped. Obviously, we've got Kerkez at left back. You'll have Kerkez and Tsimikas. I think even though the news has died down on Robinson, I think Robinson will still leave. It's just about Liverpool and Atletico coming to an agreement on the price. Obviously, Liverpool want around 10 to 12 million. I think they're only willing to, at the minute, pay 5 million. So at some point, there will be some middle ground. I think 5 million is too low for Robinson, even though he has been past it for the past couple of years. You've seen the service that Robinson has provided. He's been a top player. But let me know your comments as well, what you feel about Robinson. If you think we should be keeping Robinson, why you think we should be keeping Robinson as the backup or part of the squad. Obviously, he's got great experience. He's got that know-how. Or whether you think we should be keeping Tsimikas, or whether we should be letting Tsimikas go. Obviously, we've bought in Frimpong as a replacement for Trent. I think he's a good player, and I think that chemistry him and Wirtz are going to have, I think it's going to be top level because they've already played together. So, the chemistry is going to be really high because they know each other's game on the pitch, and they're very close friends off the pitch. So naturally, if you get on with someone really well and then you get to play football with them, it's kind of like a dream come true. It's like icing on the cake. But do let me know who else you think Liverpool are going to sign. Me personally, I would like us to get a DM. I think we're screaming out for a DM, even though Gravenberch had a standout, sensational season and he arrived at the table. He brought himself to the table with the lads, really, like the big table. Had a great season. Obviously, the 6 is not his natural position, so the fact he was able to play in that position is nothing short of sensational. The way he was able to adapt and pick up that position and took to it like a duck to water. I do think we need a natural DM, someone like a Fabinho, someone who is more defensive minded. I don't think we're going to get that this summer. I'm not ruling it out because the way Liverpool's moving in the transfer window at the minute, you can't rule nothing out. Anything's possible, literally. But I don't think we're going to get a 6. I would like a 6. I think we do get a centre back. I would like 2 centre backs, but at the minute I can only see it being 1, and I would like a striker. But I'm not sure if we're going to necessarily go for a striker. So do let me know, like I said, in the comments. Let me know your opinions, your views. That's what we're here for. Let me know what other transfers you would like to see, who you would like, and then who you realistically think Liverpool are going to go into business with, who they're going to go after. But yeah, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Like I said, Damon, myself, Naj, a few others, Stu, we're trying to put out a lot of different content. Obviously, the more subscribers, the more views we get, the more traction we get, the more we'll be in a stronger position to make that possible. So yeah, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a good rest of the Sunday evening, people.